Hi, I'm Mike Ryan. In this video, we're going to talk about two of the seven famous turquoise mines or great turquoise mines of Nevada, as listed by Bob Brucia in his wonderful book, Jewel of the Southwest, the Nevada Gem Collection. And that is Nevada Blue and Indian Mountain. Now, Nevada Blue is the oldest of these seven mines. In fact, it's one of the oldest turquoise mines in Nevada. It was first located by rancher Jim Watts in 1901. And it's on the crest of the Shoshone Mountain Range, which looks out over the Caraco Lake Valley. Very difficult access. Was mined a little bit during the earlier periods, but really didn't reach real production until the 1960s when Dean Kirk and his wife were working that mine. And there's a very interesting story in our book about why they stopped working at the Nevada Blue. So we have the history in part two. I encourage you all to take a look at that. And going from the Nevada Blue, one of the oldest turquoise mines, we have Indian Mountain, that is perhaps the newest. There is a story that has been perpetuated about it being discovered by a Shoshone sheep herder, but Bald Mountain, where the claim is located, is probably one of the last places you'd ever pick to herd your sheep. It's very difficult access. It's very exposed. You're at 8,500 feet. The weather in Nevada can change on a dime, and you don't want to be out there during a lightning storm. That is for sure. But what we do know, and what the facts are, is that Richard Dan, who was a Shoshone Indian, was one of the owners of the very large Dan Ranch located east of the town of Crescent Valley. And we know that he had located the snowbank claims on Bald Mountain in the 1970s. Now, it turns out the snowbank claims are right next to the Indian Mountain claim. We also know for a fact that Eddie Mousy, in partnership with his father-in-law, J.W. Edgar, got a bulldozer and some heavy equipment up there in the 80s and dug a lot of turquoise out of that claim. And we know that because Lee Loudon and Danny Lupacki tell the story of going to Richard's home in Carlin and seeing bucketfuls of Indian Mountain turquoise in his front yard. So there was quite a bit of this material that came to market in the 1980s and in 1990s. It's very low production because it is so difficult to access. It is just probably the most difficult mine for mining turquoise in the state. So they were mining it in the 80s, but it was not formally located until 2001 by Richard Dan and Elizabeth Dan. Today, that claim is owned by John Huntress. So with that, let's take a look at some beautiful Nevada Blue and Indian Mountain turquoise. In this tray of Nevada Blue, while we do see a range of colors, we see a lot more similarity, especially starting at the top here when we're seeing what I would say really defines to me a Nevada Blue high-grade look with this sort of very distinctive turquoise formation in this dark web matrix. These cabs all share that same distinctive look. Then we see here a little different blue in these three cabs, but similar in with that kind of dark matrix, but exhibiting more of what we would see here over here with a little more of a reddish matrix background in it. When we get down here to the bottom is where we really see a real difference in that the formation of the turquoise is different and the color is different. We have a lighter blue. Very, very beautiful look. I think this is sort of similar to what we've seen at Lone Mountain, where you have your dark web and then you also have your lighter blue turquoise in a different matrix background. So once again, turquoise identification can be challenging, and why it's so important that you can trust the provenance from your source as to where the turquoise came from. Here we see some examples of Indian Mountain turquoise. And if we start over here in the tray, we're going to see a very desirable, distinctive dark web. And this is one of the problems with turquoise identification because it's very, very difficult unless you really know the provenance, who has supplied you with the turquoise and what the previous ownership was, to really be able to determine whether this is Chinese or Indian Mountain, Lander Blue, Kingman, any of these mines that show this sort of distinctive dark web formation. As we see in many mines, we see a variety of colors coming from Indian Mountain. Perhaps one of the most distinctive is this green, these two cabs here, which very few people would say, oh yeah, that's Indian Mountain. We see here another green, but to my eye, the distinctive Indian Mountain look is in this sort of cab here, which is a lighter blue on a lighter to sometimes a darker, shall we say, a red web background. And that to me is really distinctive of the real high-grade Indian Mountain look. And we're seeing that here in this beautiful piece of jewelry with this incredibly finely done Hishi bead necklace here, and then with this distinctive Indian Mountain, very high grade turquoise cabochon on the bottom here. This is made by Larry Gulch, who is very, very famous and distinctive Indian jewelry master. So we've seen some different looks for Indian Mountain.